There it is. Oh no, I'm gonna die! Alright, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to show you an Ice Sorceress build that everybody is sleeping on. If you've looked at Ice Sorceress builds in the past, you're most likely guaranteed to have seen an Ice Shards build. Ice Shards is pretty strong, but it's also kind of clunky and really forces you to get in close with the enemies. I'm not a fan of the Ice Shards build. I like Ice Sorceresses most out of all of the Sorceresses, not just in Diablo 4, but also in Diablo 2. So I wanted to have an Ice Sorceress that felt like it did in the other game. What I spend a lot of time on is Frozen Orb. Frozen Orb was my favorite Ice Sorceress in Diablo 2, and I wanted to bring that forward to Diablo 4. So I spent a lot of time making this work. And as you can see here, this is a World Tier 4 dungeon. I'm speedrunning it. I finished the dungeon in about 3 minutes. And if you're not familiar with this dungeon, this is the quest dungeon that's up near the Bear Tribe. Once you complete the quest, you can't access the dungeon anymore. So if you need to know about this dungeon for XP farming and loot farming, check out my video on that. Back to the Ice Sorceress. The whole build revolves around Frozen Orb. We do still use Ice Shards at late game to burn down high priority targets. But Frozen Orb is our mule horse, our workhorse. We're going to use that to clear the entire screen, to keep everything chilled, frozen, so we don't take damage, we stay nice and safe, and we deal a lot of damage to the enemies that we're targeting. Alright, so here in this dungeon we're speedrunning, we're clearing super fast, has the capability to wipe out entire packs very quickly, which is fantastic, it's great. But this build also has the ability to push high-level Nightmare dungeons. Because of the fact that you have so much survivability from your Paragon tree, from damage reduction against chilled, and you have so much crowd control, you're able to slow the entire screen or freeze the entire screen. You're able to perma-freeze non-elite mobs. So you have a lot of protection, a lot of survivability, and your damage output is more than sufficient for AoE mobs. And even on single target, you can still burn down elite mobs with just Frozen Orb. You don't have to use Ice Shards. In fact, I didn't start using Ice Shards until later on. So here in this video, we're watching me burn through some World Tier 4 mobs my level, which is what I would call your speedrunning content. You're looking for uniques or, you know, a certain rare or legendary item that you're missing in your build. This is fantastic for doing that. And then here, right after this, I'm going to show you guys how strong this build could be. We're level 82, and we're gonna tackle a tier 48 Nightmare dungeon, which is level 102 mobs. Bro, can't make that shit up. What the fuck? Okay, well, I guess I get one less chance. Fucking right down the ledge. Okay. Alright, so our main difference from our speedrunning setup and our setup that we're going to use to push high Nightmare dungeons is that we're going to use our Firebolt passive, or our Firebolt enchantment, to make sure that all of our skills are inflicting burning. Any direct damage spell will inflict burning on the enemy, right? So in speedrunning, we typically use Ice Shards, which gives us a little bit more clear speed. Ice Shards will automatically launch at any frozen target, and that can be even 2-3 screens away. It's still going to target them and launch at them. So that's nice. But whenever we get into this more dangerous content, we want the damage reduction that we're going to have on items as a sorceress, which is burning or damage reduction from burning enemies. And it's super easy to apply. Again, we just sacrifice that clear speed for on frozen enemies for a little bit of burning damage. So that's why you'll see these enemies burning as I hit them with Frozen Orb. It's strictly to get that burn proc onto them so that I don't take as much damage. I think at this point I have about 43% or 45% reduction from burning enemies. And then with my shield, I want to say my shield's somewhere around 30, 35 or something like that. It's almost entirely through Paragon. I think it is entirely through Paragon. So you get a lot of damage reduction in Paragon if you, or at least options that you can choose in Paragon, which will help keep you alive a little bit better. So, in all honesty too, like the ice shards clearing isn't super strong, right? Like you might get maybe 2 ice shards sent to an enemy whenever you're bringing down packs, right? It's not like revolutionary, but it does help clear a little bit faster. So, in all honesty, if you never used it, if like you're a hardcore character and you would just instead you would use Firebolt as your enchantment instead of ice shards. And in reality too, I'm not 100% sure on this, but at least early on before you get your affixes, you know, if you don't want to run Flame Shield, then you might, or sorry, if you want to be super safe, you might run Flame Shield and then Firebolt. I personally, I started off this the launch as a hardcore, as Rogue, beat the campaign, made it to 68 before hitting a disconnect, so ripped that Rogue. But I would probably not use Flame Shield as a hardcore character. I wouldn't want to feel like I'm trapped into using, like missing half my enchantments because I'm on hardcore. You know, there's other escape mechanics out there. If you're a hardcore sorcerer and you're looking for, you know, a new ice build, use the other mechanics that are out there. Your scroll escape, use the potion. You know, you don't need Flame Shield. That's my opinion on this. It's all just kind of how the playstyle is. And this build, the Frozen Orb, is going to give you so much protection. Like, you don't ever have to put yourself in a bad situation if you don't want to, right? Even if you come into a pack of blocking elites, you can still have a way to, like, not fight directly into them, you know? So it's a very, very strong build for crowd control. And you can see it here as I'm clearing this dungeon. You know, I launched 2 Frozen Orbs, or 2 casts of Frozen Orbs, and 4 go onto the screen and just completely lock everything down. I don't have to take any damage if I don't want to. Of course, now I'm enjoying having fun. I want to push this dungeon, and I'm getting a little excited watching these level 100 mobs just blow up, so I end up getting myself in more danger than necessary here. But the build is super strong. It's fantastic at clearing, fantastic at pushing harder content, and then because once you get into higher level and you have mana, you have affixes for mana recharge and, mana generation and mana cost reduction, and then you get some of your lucky hit procs, like your gloves can have a resource generation for lucky hit proc. You get that stuff on, and then you can put your ice shards back onto your skill bar, and use that for a little more direct damage on some of these tough elites like this one here. And you'll notice too, I messed up, but you can even switch these mid-combat. If you're having a hard time, I keep running out of mana here, you can, in combat, open your skill, your kind of hot window for skills, and swap your skills back, right? It's, I fail abysmally at it, but it's something you can definitely do, you know, if you're needing to switch back for a moment on some targets, right? So I'll go into a build video, a full build video a little bit later on. I won't spoil it right now. I will tell you some of the key mechanics that I focus on for this build. First, being softcore, I focus pretty much entirely on just damage output. If you have a lot of crowd control, you don't need to put yourself in bad situations. But if I was on hardcore, I would probably go into the tree that allows, or sorry, the paragon allows for damage reduction earlier on, and I would probably try to get some of this burning, damage reduction from burning targets earlier on. However, we'll talk about softcore. So softcore stats, vulnerable damage is king because of the fact that you have a 1 in 4 chance to make enemies vulnerable with your Frozen Orb. You really want to make sure that you're building, anytime you can build vulnerable damage, build vulnerable damage. The reason that is because vulnerable damage is a multiplier to the rest of your damage. The only other time this is true is whenever you have aspects that say, 10% X, right? So like Penitent Greaves. You say you deal 10% X more damage to chilled targets. What that means is it's a new multiplier outside of your traditional plus 50 to close, plus 30 to chilled, plus 10 to crowd controlled. All those are additive. If it has the X, then it's multiplicative, and vulnerable is multiplicative. So anytime you can, get vulnerable damage. After that, it's pretty much going to be just survivability, because you get so much elemental damage from Paragon that you don't need to build any other in your gear. So you'll get your crit, you'll get lucky hit, and then pretty much everything else is going to be defensive stats. HP, damage reduction, and a little bit of resource generation until you feel like it's a good level. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the build theory. I'll let you guys finish watching this video. So it's just me commenting as I'm finishing clearing up this Nightmare Tier 40 collection. This is easier than I expected. I did a 101 Champion's Demise with negative 60 hit damage, and that messed my world up. Changed some items around. I think I switched my rings, right? So now I'm using vulnerable damage and HP rings, and this is too easy. I will say that for Frozen Orb Sorceress, what's this dungeon called again? Blind Burrows is probably one of the easier dungeons to do for this guy. I'm gonna run in here and ignore the mechanics because wow. Yeah. I'm feeling super strong, but even aside from that, Blind Burrows is a pretty good dungeon for Frozen Orb Sorceress. Oh no, I'm gonna die! Oh, okay. I'm gonna be able to put no death on the title. It'd suck if I died. Actually pretty bummed. I like doing hardcore. I started this off with a rogue, hardcore rogue. First time I cleared the campaign was on hardcore, and or rather the only time I cleared the campaign. But the servers, I shouldn't say the servers. It's suicide playing hardcore on a game that just came out. Just suicide. You've seen videos of people dying inside of loading screens, getting out of bubbles, or getting out of like the Nightmare Dungeon bubble. But I lost a character, just crashed. I ran into a pack of 6 elites in a Nightmare Dungeon, crashed. That's it. It's done. Outplayed. So I'll play hardcore again when Season 1 comes out. I'll have faith that things will be a bit more stable, or forgiving at least. But I want to experience the full game at least. I don't want to spend 100 hours making a character and then I only get to experience the game, because I lose them as soon as I get to end game. So being able to, having some focus on not dying still. Even if I'm not playing hardcore, it's still want to play like I'm not hardcore.
I need time to prepare that.
Guys. Oh my gosh, look at that, see? What's that poison? What's that poison? So much! And then look, he dies and it ends. That's gotta be a bug, right? Like, why does his poison damage stop if he dies? Again, 10k HP, guys. 10k HP. Or whatever, 9k HP. And I'm having to use multiple potions to outdeal his poison. What the fuck? Spiders in the chest. I still like to use ice shards. It's such a powerful skill, but it feels so much better basing the build around Frozen Orb than it does around ice shards. If you guys have played, if you guys have built your sorcerer around using ice shards, you know how incredibly annoying it is. You have to have a barrier. You have to have frost in the fight, and it's like it's your only way to fight is just to run in, freeze, delete stuff, wait, and it's strong. It just feels so bad. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like a sorcerer. So I love this Frozen Orb build. Getting back into this just massive area control feels real good. Feels a lot like the Diablo 2 sorcerers. Just mowing down tons of enemies.
I need time to prepare.
Mowing down fields of cows, you know. Wait till that comes back. Get some monies. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat this boss, to be honest. Bosses in general are pretty painful, and this one is explicitly so. Look at this, I messed up. Okay, kill it first. Weapon mechanic. Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna die! I can't put no depth on the title. Damn it. Fucking spiders, man. Rooting you, keeping you immovable. Or mobilized. Okay, that's fine. We don't get to put the clickbait title in.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh my god, I gotta rush to the boss. This is cheating, but I don't care. I don't care. Conduit Shrine, we need this so bad.
I'm not ready yet.
This boss is such a pain in the ass. Come on. Come on, let's go. I'm gonna kick his ass. I want to get rooted.
I'm not ready yet.
There it is. There it is. Pretty reasonable time, too. I should get 98 XP. Okay, well, not terrible. Alright, thanks for watching. Just drop a like, hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.